Hello, welcome to the sideboard here at the StarCityGames.com Open Series in St. Louis. I am Nick Miller alongside John Huston. How you doing?
Pretty well.
Pretty good indeed. You've got a nice one today. The reanimation brews have been around for a while in this standard.
Yes.
But you've brought to the table a 4-color Reanimator that what I like about it doesn't depend on the reanimation strategy.
Definitely.
So you've seen in the past a bunch of Grizzly Salvage, a bunch of the Satyr, a bunch of, Communing with the Gods. Just
any enablers.
Ton of cards fill in the graveyard. What I like about here, you only got 5 enablers and 3 Grizzly Salvage and 2 of the Satyrs, and you're more of a ramp deck.
Yep.
So how'd you come to this particular build of Reanimation, and when did you decide, hey, we don't need all of these enablers, we can just be a sweet deck without them?
Trial and error, definitely trial and error. I played this deck for just months at our local store, just grinding out FNMs. They're cutting down to 2 Satyr Wayfinders and then down to 3 Grizzlies is just, you want action spells all the time. You just want to be able to solve things. And most times Satyrs do get cut. They're sweet for the guaranteed land drops.
Right.
You effectively run like 34 sources of mana. I think I'm mulligan twice all day today.
Right, you've got 4 Caryatids and 4 Elvish Mystics. So.
3 Mystics, 4, I ended up cutting that.
Right.
One Mystic for a Courser, just for more late game action. But yeah, with all the dorks and with the mana enablers and Grizzly can find creatures or lands, both are perfect.
Giant players, your parents from round 3 are up.
You effectively have a funnel of mana into all the best bombs of Standard.
Right, so you've got the 4 Obsidat's Aid and 2 Whip of Erebos.
Yep.
So you're reanimating stuff with the best of them, but you're also just ramping into awesome stuff like triple Blood Baron. You've got Obsidat. And then, of course, your fatties up top, Angel Serenity, Sylvan Primordial, Shadowborn Demon, and Ashen Rider, which are all just huge bombs.
Yep.
That can take care of games.
Yeah, it's sad you don't even see Blood Baron and Obsidian as a bomb so much as it's a road bomb. You just want to slow them down. Anything you can put in front of them until when you hit your bombs on top is imperative.
Right. Having Blood Baron and Obsidian as your middling creatures is a pretty good situation to be in. Whereas most decks top out with that kind of stuff.
And then having the resiliency of just going like Blood Baron, they solve them. Just reanimate Blood Baron. You're like, you have to solve my 7 Blood Barons in the main.
Just a bunch of value.
And if they can't, once they solve all your mid-range, you're like, Angel, pick up all of my dudes that you just solved. And that's like the bombs of other decks is just the mid-range obstacle course for them to mesh through. Right. Once you get that, you do the Angel chain and any other shenanigans from the deck. And
you're just going over the top with your big end. And the cool interaction I saw, and a card that a lot of the reanimation decks haven't been running, is Gerard's Order. And I saw you today use a Gerard's Order for both your Angel Serenities, basically setting up the loop.
You get the Angel lock on them that way. You can also set up from the board, you get the Erebos, you also get all of your 1-ofs, like I'm playing a ton of 1-ofs out of the board to just specific matchups, but boarding in one thing gives me a play set of that card that's good against one guy.
Right.
So I can fine-tune something to one guy.
Yeah,
and that's
Gerard's Order, a card that has been under the radar for a while, but seems super powerful when you can capitalize with Obsidat's Aid and Whip of Erebos. Alongside, Obsidat, just awesome with the Whip in general.
If you can set up the turn 3 Gerard's Order into the turn 4 Reanimate, destroying their land with a Sylvan Primordial, you're so far ahead that you're up the land, you're up ramping, and they're down. If you're on the play, it's really hard to come back.
Right.
They have to have removal spell on the turn you blow up the land, plus something to come back from that.
Yeah, Sylvan Primordial just hitting everything but creatures, lands, planeswalkers, troublesome enchantments like Underworld Connections, all that type of stuff.
Whipping it in as a corrupt, you could see it, that kills their planeswalker, 6s them, and then ramps you even further. Using that as the mana fixer for the 1-of Stomping Ground too.
Yeah.
Seeing the 3 Gerard's Orders, the 2 Sylvan Primordials, and all of the mana fetches, plus the Caryatids, I run 1 Stomping Ground and have 14 mana sources.
Right. Right. Your main deck is junk, or Abzan as we're calling it these days. But in the sideboard, you have 2 Slaughter Games as your red splash to help your control matchup.
Definitely, yeah. If I get the turn 3 or turn 3, turn 4, take out the Sphinx's Revs, I have a better late game and I can stay on longer.
Right. With no Sphinx's Revelation, Angel Serenity seems like the biggest game you can be playing.
It's definitely some value.
And of course, Ashen Rider and Shadowborn Demon
Yep.
Hit creatures, just blow stuff up. Even if they deal with the rider, you get something else on the way out.
And then you board into Erebos and Planeswalker control versus the Walker decks and all the control decks. So it's walkers versus walkers, but you've got ramp and resiliency.
Right, this sideboard is loaded. You've got the 2 Slaughter Games for control. You got 2 Golgari Charms.
Which is for everything. A lot of decks play them in the main. Aggro, control, anything with a Courser, anything with where you want to regenerate your creatures. Definitely relevant.
Good against control because you can keep your board alive. Just destroys the Rabble Red deck for the most part. Yep. You got 2 more Coursers because you have 1 in the main. Where are you bringing in the extra Coursers?
Anything that's pressuring me early, and anything but. They come in a lot. They do come in a lot.
What would you mainly cut for them when you're bringing them in, I guess is the better
Most
question.
of the time you're cutting out dorks. You're cutting the 3 dorks for the 2 coursers and something. And that's for like mono black. If they get anything just to sweep your dorks out of the way, getting a double sinkhole is amazing against you. Feel bad. And having them to have to 1-for-1 your extra mana sources is a little bit, it ties it up a little bit.
Okay. You've got 2 more Shadowborn Demons.
Strictly for the monster matchup and for anything mono-red with pro-white dragons.
Yep.
Everything in the deck is white, and the only thing you can stop a Stormbreath Dragon with is the Primordial, which has reach. But then they just wait. They just wait you out until they don't have to.
Yep.
And at that point, they probably win.
But the Demon, super helpful there.
A 5-mana Doomblade's a 5-mana Doomblade.
You've got the Liliana that you mentioned, and your Erebos. Also helping in your planeswalkery matchups.
Yep, definitely. Its creature relevancy is insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the one card we missed in the main deck is Abrupt Decay. You got 3 of those. Answers basically everything. You got 1 more on the board.
Yep. Answers D-Spheres, answers Banishing Lights, any aggro creature except for Soldier, which 10 meat a day. Soldier
can put in some work.
Yep.
And then an extra Elspeth, Hornet Queen, and a Vraska.
Hornet Queen MVP, unbelievably against Mono Black. Them having to Drown in Sorrow and have a kill spell, or they just can't attack. Shadowborn Demon just blanks them. Mono Blue, same thing. You have a whole field full of dudes they can lock out 1 at a time, or they can overload Cyclonic Rift, and if they do that, then you just replay it again.
Just get them back.
Yeah, so recycling all the bombs of target your deck is, I guess, my gimmick.
Yeah. Any deck that is playing to the board with creatures, Hornet Queen is just an absolute beating. And Vraska, another blow-up permanence card.
Yep, it's a 5-mana Spine of Isha, I guess, from that format.
All right, so you're 5-2 after 7 rounds. Not bad. I wish we could have seen more of this deck in Standard and more of it today, but you kind of fell out of contention when I caught wind of you.
Yep.
But still sweet. Wanted to get a deck tech with it. Looks pretty awesome.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. Versus anything that's just smashing or getting value, I'd say this is the most interaction-based deck in Standard.
All right, John. Well, thanks for sitting down with me here in the sideboard.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to StarCityGames.com all weekend long for all the action here in St. Louis.